Initial setup on the downstream rod is 12-pound main line to a 60-gram Drennan block end feeder with an 8-pound fluorocarbon hook length to a size 12 Drennan Super Specialist hook, and homemade ground bait mix in the feeder with a bunch of red maggots on the hook. Setup on the upstream rod is 12-pound main line to a 70-gram Drennan block end feeder, 10-pound fluorocarbon hook length to a size 8 Drennan Super Specialist Barbel hook, and 3 8mm robin red pellets on a hair rig with hemp and 3mm halibut pellets in the feeder. Okay, first cast session. Upstream rod first, right across and under the tree. Bait runner on. Ready for the downstream rod. Just cast this about half to a third of the way across. Settle down. Hopefully wait for the bite. There's a rattle on the downstream rod. Oh, that didn't take very long. Only a small fish though. Probably a dace or a roach. Small roach. So no blank for the session. I'm a canoeist. Having a good look. Drop back a bit. Yeah, there's definitely a bite there. Yeah, and fish on. This ain't a barbel. Probably a smallish chub, or even a large roach. But bodes well for the rest of the session. Fish obviously around. Yeah, that's a chub. Landing it into the net. It round. Put it back in the river to rest a bit, having unhooked it on the unhooking mat. I haven't rested it for a few minutes. Net and show it to the camera. There he is, pristine chub, around about a pound I reckon. Obviously not going to weigh that. And put it back in the river for a bit longer, just to make sure it's fully recuperated before going back in. Swim around for another day. cast both rods. There's a bite on the upstream rod again. Feels like a decent fish. Yeah, that's got to be a barbel. Oh, it's come on. Don't know what happened there. Definitely a barbel. But it's gone. So, just organising my pellets on the side tray, keep glancing up and checking the tips. The bait runner screaming off, striking into a fish, and that's definitely a barbel. Coming across, just check the drag there, make sure I'm not going to pull out of this one. Doesn't feel that big, but certainly giving a good account of itself. Starting to swim downstream now. Put a bit of side pressure on it to try and coax it back up. Into a better position to bring it back upstream. Barbel breaking the surface. It looks like it's beat. But typically, making final desperate lunges. And again. And then into the net safely. Checking on the fish now. I've been resting it for a minute or so. Just check the hook hold. As quickly as possible. Straight back in the water without weighing it or showing it to the camera. It's only about 3 pounds, so no real reason to show that. Just leave it there to recuperate fully before releasing it. Just checking the rod tips there because there was a little bit of a pull on the upstream rod. Oh, maybe not, maybe it was the wind. Settle back down. That was it by magic. Bait runner screams off. And that's a powerful fish. Definitely a barbel. side strain on, bring it upstream. Get control of it. But it's pulling really hard. Say that's a decent sized barbel. Much bigger than the first one. Gradually bringing it across. No rush. Still pulling hard though. Easing closer and closer. Now I've got a bite on the downstream rod. I'll put that back because I don't think that's a barbel. Just concentrate on landing this one. Put the bait runner back on and let it do its job. That's probably a chub on the downstream rod. Just concentrate on getting this barbel in. Yeah, downstream rod's gone quiet, so it's probably come off. Yeah, that's a decent sized barbel. And it's into the net. So okay, we'll leave it in the net whilst I wind in the downstream rod. I have it wound in the downstream rod. Rested the barbel for a while. I'll put it on the unhooking mat and get it unhooked as soon as possible. And then put it back in the river. Rest it up before it's weighed and photographed. So, having rested it and weighed it and re-rested it, get it out of the river and prepare to show it to the camera. And there it is. Superb River Severn Barbel. Just on £8. Back in the river again. well rested. Just checking to make sure that it's fit and healthy, not in any distress. And let it go. Away it swims. Rebaited the downstream rod. I was trying to keep an eye on the upstream rod as well. There's another bite on the upstream rod. Strike into a fish, and that's definitely a barbel. And that feels really strong that this is a big fish. That's taking some effort to move it. Feels much bigger than the previous ones. Trying to get a better angle on it. Keeping side pressure on it. Battling hard. Getting it closer now, but it's still very, very powerful. Taking line. Just near the surface there, and it's, yeah, this is a big fish. It's a big barbel. Just getting it into the net, shuffling it in. Quick look at it before unhooking it. Oh, somebody's crystal waggler in the net. The hooks come out very easily. Put it back in the river to rest and recuperate. So it's been rested and recuperated. It's been weighed, put back in the river to rest again for several minutes before getting it out to show to the camera. There it is, a magnificent River Severn Barbel, just £9 12 ounces. A very, very powerful fish, that. Good fight, and we'll leave it in the net for a few minutes to make sure it's fully recuperated. So, having changed the downstream rod setup from maggots to halibut pellets, targeting the barbel specifically. There's a take, notched over, bait runner, and that is definitely a barbel, and that is pulling strongly. Again, this feels like a reasonable fish. Easing it across. Nice and steady. Decent size, this. And still pulling strongly. Getting it close in now. Usual lunges as you get them close. Breaks the surface for the first time. Into the net. Yep. Safely in the net. That's my mate just turning up. And he's been further up river pike fishing. The barbel's been rested and photographed by my mate and re-rested prior to showing to the camera, and there it is, a lovely River Severn Barbel, around about 5 or 6 pounds. Plop it back in the river, make sure it's fully rested and ready to be released. So several minutes later, check on it one final time. Looks strong and healthy, not in any distress. It's away. Swam away strongly. That's Barbel number 4. Preparing to recast both the rods. Upstream rod first. Get it under the tree again. Downstream rod about 2/3 the way across this time. Both rods now set up. There's a knock on the upstream rod and that hasn't taken long. Line being taken. Feels like a reasonable fish. I'm actually snagged on the rod rest and they're just come loose. That could have been a disaster. But the barbel's still on. And that's pulling hard. Another decent fish by the feel of things. Bringing it back gradually. And there's a bite on the downstream rod. Do I try and connect with that one? I'll just leave it to let the bait runner do its work and hope the fish is still on whilst I land the barbel. It's not taking line, it's just banging the tip, so it's probably a small chub or a large roach. Just concentrate on the barbel. Downstream rod's actually gone quiet now, so it'll probably come off, so right decision to concentrate on the barbel. Still pulling strongly though, so another decent fish. Coming in. Usual lunges as it gets close to the net. quite in it that time. And again, lunging. Doesn't want to give up. Ease it in. Sigh of relief there. Start reeling in the downstream rod and the fish is still on. Yeah, there's definitely a fish on that. Doesn't feel particularly big, but surprised that it's still there. Yeah, it's a small chub. Oh, both fish in the net. Get him unhooked. Back in the river. Yeah, the chub looks like it's swimming around strongly. So we'll get that out. Show it to the camera. Put the barbel back in to rest a bit longer. There it is. Pristine River Severn chub. Say around about £1. Oops. Plopped it back in the water. So the barbel's been rested for a couple of minutes after releasing the chub. Certainly swimming in the net very strongly, so I'll get it out. Show it to the camera, and there it is. Yet another River Severn Barbel in pristine condition, round about the £8 mark again. So very pleased with that. A really good session. 5 barbel, including 2 that I lost as well.